So I'm going to talk about a play in, especially a piece that was exhibited at the biennial Chronique, because it's a crossover between the video work of video, and also the installation is contemporary art, and a project on blockchain. And very briefly, the project in my last year of school at Frénois in 2018, I had a project on the memory of water, a theory, a pseudoscientific theory that was debunked in the 90s. And the principle of that theory was that to be able to digitize biology, it's a bit like the principle of homeopathy. So I was interested in having this experience based on the protocol that was used back then. We worked with a CNRS lab with psychotropes in homeopathic doses with mother tinctures. We tried to build with biochemical terms, oxytocin, phenylalanine, and hormones that are at work in the love process, the bonding process, based on the principle of the memory of water with very high dilutions and the system of transmissions that are quite esoteric that were used in order to transmit. So we had a first part, which was an experience in a hangar on human guinea pigs, who were going to drink this solution in an electro music party, to have this experience with guinea pigs, quote unquote, what underlies the memory of water. So a kind of dissertation on the vibrations in the human body, the type of vibrations that the human body can perceive, sound and light, and that you are in kind of a boiler room in the middle of an electro, party. So if you have the opportunity to go and experiment that in Marseille. So what I did after that was that for this project, we ordered some substances that we used in the lab. We ordered them on the dark net, because working in a lab with drugs is very, very expensive, because you have to have pure drugs, and the circuits are really expensive. So it was over our budget, and that is why the procurement for us required Bitcoin to buy in the dark net the substances that we needed for our mother tinctures. So when I completed the project, I gave the digital files for these. I put them back in the dark net so that it then can be consulted by just about anybody, because it's in the dark web. So I felt that there was not a bit of there was no hype around that. But the possibilities of what you call a smart contract, the technology that hosts NFTs, I wanted to see the implications of this project in the blockchain. And I collaborated with people who created a wallet, so who are part of this ecosystem. And then we worked with the same lab, the same CNRS lab, who curated molecules for us, curated, quote unquote, and we based an AI that is called AlphaDo. It's Google IA that enables you to visualize molecules on systems of scientific representations. When you have H2O water, how it can be represented. You have many molecules that are at play. So these 13 drugs that can be minted, they can be mined, tokens can be mined with code. So it's generative art, actually. And there is a random allocation of molecules, THC, DND, anything that composes those 13 drugs. And each image, each digital asset is unique and generates the image. And it was the distinction we made yesterday. Is NFT just a pointer toward a physical file that is stored somewhere in a centralized or decentralized, or is it in itself, in per se, the medium? It is, well, the code that generates the image is included in the metadata that enable not only the authentication, but also the interaction. Smart contracts interact between themselves. Here, the different molecules that make cannabis, for instance, they are merged, they are related. So to create a blockchain, cannabis on the blockchain. So it's a kind of project at the crossroads between mining, so a kind of didactic experience and aesthetical experience, because it is the extension of this project. And water has a special role because you have many molecules of water, but each time you make a drug, you burn an NFT. Burn meaning that you use it and it disappears. So it's a very abundant resource, but it rarefies over time. But because the more people will create drugs, the more the supply of water will be depleted. So for me, I also had, I was interested in playing in this on this ambiguity of the art dealership, the ambiguity that is somewhat funny because you can play with different factors of how you can perceive and embrace that. So my project for this on this was really intended for the communities involved in blockchain because they have mercantile considerations, merchandising works and digital works of art. But this requires them to go and do in-depth work because if they wanted to go find rare drugs, they had to go investigate the deep molecular compositions. And so symbolically, I was also interested in having a type of representation of molecules and drugs that was some kind of down the rabbit hole process of representation with the systems and the algorithms that exist in the social networks. So, a kind of representation of the reward circuit in the digital, in these digital spheres. And then one thing, so let me introduce the last project that I'm showing at the Musée Granet. This experiment that lasted 2 years with the people who fabricated this project enabled me to meet the crypto communities and really go meander in their universe, often anonymous people with profile photographs that are quite strange. So I was really in this rabbit hole aspect and the solitude of the people behind their screens with this on and off between digital and the flesh and blood world. The bed, this mattress, a mattress with nothing else in a room, is represents the people have been raked, that is, have been completely dispossessed of everything they had. This is all that remains. And another meme that is Pee the Frog, a cartoon character that was recuperated by Trump during his campaign. During Trump's campaign, he used this meme. So you have this, games of influences between different communities. The crypto community that reappropriated this meme, representing a sad persona. So with an AI generating images of that mattress and of this cartoon character, what I did was that I recovered these images, take them, give them to the IA, and then the IA would iterate images, and then at some point, so we had this conversation between me and the artificial intelligence, and then we stopped and froze on an image in particular, which was a choice of a painting and a digital image, and the painting is here in the museum, and the digital object is this screen, which is on the floor or lying on a mattress. A reference to crypto communities. Yeah, last year there was an event, which is an NFT event in the sphere of cryptocurrencies. Um, and there was a kind of a spoof of an NFT exhibit where things are very deceptive. So what they put was just legs with screens that were not calibrated for the images, for the size of screen. It was a kind of exhibit in a lobby, in a hallway, with works that were supposed to be masterpieces of crypto art, and it became in itself a meme in itself of this image of kind of lousy, stuck in the mud exhibit. I think I'm there. I
Eh bien,
just
merci
on
Pierre.
time. Thank you, Pierre.